Hey guys, Runner here. Welcome back. After a bit of a while to BeamNG Drive, a little bit more banger racing here today. I know I kept a list of the cars that will be in today's race. And up front we have the car that always just seems to survive every round in 4th place. The Miramar Backrunner, which as ever has as many gears in reverse as it does forwards. But none of the reverse gears apart from the first one will be of any use to this car. 2nd place we have the new car. I say new car for this round, but it's a very old looking car with no exhaust either, which is why there's smoke coming up through the front of it. That's not the engine overheating, that's just the lack of exhaust. It's a Grand Marshal beta version with a 4.5 litre working V8, so it's pretty loud, pretty sluggish because it's a bit of a land yacht car. Then in 3rd, a car you couldn't lose in the dark, the ARZ 200 V6 version, not quite the police car this time, but still the exact same car, just without the lights on the roof. Then in 4th place, the car that needs to win in the Simpsons colours today, the Pursue Sport T-Top. And then at the back, a car which hopefully gets a bit more involved this time, the 200BX Rocket Bunny version 2 with a 4 litre V8, because the 2 litre i6 this thing spawns with is pathetically slow. So now, to get all the cars now onto random, can't do it from the option menu because it defaults all the cars to 1 on the risk factor. They all spawn on 0.3, I hold down to get close to 0.69, nice, as I can. Sometimes it's a bit under here like 0.62, sometimes it's dead on, sometimes it's a bit over. Fastest car at the back, slowest at the front, 2 laps here on the road Atlanta circuit. The start finish line is the end of that curve, we've just gone past there. If the car that needs to win doesn't, it will be out, along with the car that finishes in last place before the cars finish, or any cars that DNF. Also any cars that get lapped as well. So basically you've got to be on the lead lap and you've got to finish, is the way to progress in this series. And the Miramar knows a thing or two about progressing. These two cars, they started a bit further back, so they tried to get them all together so they meet at the first corner. Whoa. Can we go to the hill just in the distance there? Technically I guess that counts as the corner. Okay, so they all try and meet there, so they don't just try and smash each other out of the way immediately. We're going to get a little bit of chaos into the braking zones, but the Pursuit makes heavy contact there with the back. So I think it's fell off the back of something. Oh, I think it's just one of the lights that's come off the back of the Grand Marshal. Now, the thing is, with the front-running cars, their brakes are usually the issue, especially for the back runner here. It really doesn't stop. I found anything over a rest factor of 0.63. It usually doesn't stop into turn 1, although things are getting wiggly, so I'm going to slow them down a little bit. So they're going to try, there's like some moves are going to try and be made, or there's some massive defences thrown up at the same time. Something has gone around though. I didn't know the Pursuit just slow things down there, just to get itself back under control. But everything is wiggling its way now down into turn 1. Because if things get stuck under cars, I don't remove them unless they're actually causing an issue. Like if a bumper gets stuck, lift the wheels off the ground. If things are just dragging or that, I leave them where they are. And the door's open now on the Grand Marshal, as the Miramar is now down and out into turn 1, and now the Grand Marshal now leads the way. It's a heavy car, and oh, there's been contact further behind though, as the Miramar has made contact with, oh no, it's hit the wheel. Also yeah, wheels I remove if they become an issue as well. That one might be becoming an issue, let's see how it goes, and the Miramar wants to go the wrong way. So I'm going to put that now then onto stopping. Because if I put it straight onto disabled, it will just floor it in reverse. Everything else looks like it's going to be settled down for a minute. So now that I can get the Miramar the right way around again. And put its one-wheel drive power down. Now then, it doesn't really seem to want to go anywhere. Is the engine dead? Was it stuck in reverse? I don't really know what this car is doing at the moment. But you know what I'm going to put it onto random and hope it goes the right way. Which it looks like it is. So now then, it's still the Grand Marshal that leads the way. The Pursuit is literally inside the back of the ARZ once again. They're both going to be pushing the waist to themselves out to try and catch back up. And how's the this thing with the wheel is definitely slowing it down. So what I need to do is remove it. Now this thing is rear wheel drive. So pulling off a front wheel won't do anything major. It might get stuck on a curb now, but that's going to have to be the price it pays to actually get somewhere at any decent speed. Now then, coming now into the braking zone, well I will say braking zone, it's more The cars behind the Grand Marshal are using it as the brake, although the ARZ is going to get sent around now into the wall. This thing's front wheel drive needs to protect the front wheels, and it can't get back in time to try and do a takeout. Can it get back going again in third place? It doesn't really matter where it is, because it's our car that needs to win. And oh, here comes the 200 BRX. They get things slowed down. There's going to be quite hefty contact here again. Not as much as I thought, actually, although it might have taken out the radiator of the 200 BX, though. You know, here's the fight for the lead now. This thing needs to make a move up the inside line. The car needs to win, so it has to make a move at some point on this lap or the next one. And it makes it straight there. It sends the Grand Marshal spinning on to the curb and now takes the lead of the race. It does exactly what it needs to do. Yeah, this thing's not really turning anymore. Not all that surprised, really, since it has one wheel. And the front bumper, I don't think is causing issues. It's definitely dragging, though. So I might have to look at that as the thing that needs removed. This thing's took out its radiator. The Grand Marshal gets back going again now in P4, which doesn't matter because it's not the car in last place. So, as it thinks down, it's going to be the Miramar as the car that gets eliminated. Although this thing really cannot turn, so I'm pretty sure the front bumper is now going to have to go as well. Trying to get hold of it, pull it forwards and pull it off to the side, because I don't want it to get stuck under the wheel either. And then that, hopefully, well, there's not anything else I can do for this car. Hopefully, I would say hopefully it's not that aero affected. But since it's now a three-wheeled car, I don't think the aero really matters all that much. I don't know though, took out radiator. This thing is pretty tough, but of course overheating is a matter of can it actually get around another lap. Now then, what can the 200 BX actually do now? Can it actually turn now? It's taking it easy through these corners, but now I think it can actually get the power down. Oh, the door's gone. I just saw the door fall off the Grand Marshal, and that makes its way into the Grand Marshal, so that's not going to cause any issues for anything, probably, on the second lap of the race. Now, the only other concern, I'm saying now, is can the 200 BX get itself over the curbing? If it can put the power down, it might actually still have a chance to get into second place. Because somehow the radiator doesn't seem to actually be taken out. I mean, it's the next thing to get hit, so it needs to avoid any contact on the front really if it can. But the only way to get past the car in front of it really is to make contact with it. This is the part of the lap where it's going to need to use its straight line speed to its advantage. You've got the third place car compared to the fastest car here in terms of straight line speed. I do test them with the AI as well. And this thing is definitely the quickest round of the lap. Well, at least it would be if all the wheels were actually attached to it. As the Miramar steaming its way now up into the third sector, and it's going to be out as things stand. This is the Grand Marshal really is actually catching up through the corners. This thing, it's not the quickest. This is where it's going to lose all of its time as it completely just disappears. This car's just disappearing off into the distance. But through the corners, it will have the advantage. So if it can keep somewhere close, it might still be with a shout of getting back onto the podium. But the Pursue, the car that needs to win, is doing absolutely everything it needs to do as well. Even got its own front bumper dragging a little bit. It looks like it's going to be okay. Let's get a bit of a cinematic camera angle. Yeah, we've got some angry cameras now on the run down into the fast braking zone. And the Pursue shouldn't be having any issues. The brakes are an issue on this car slightly, but in a 2-lap race, I don't really think that's going to make too much of a difference. It doesn't massively overheat that quickly with the brakes. Of course, being on an AI control as well, it's never going to go as quick as what it would do under the player control, so it should be alright through there. And the ARZ may have also just held on to second place. This thing actually gets stopped now with 3 wheels. Of course, the loss of a wheel is a loss of a brake as well. It's going to try and go for a wide line through. You can't get the movie there into the next corner, into this right-hander with the understeer as well. The tight line it would have to have took. And to be fair, the Grand Marshal's not all that far behind either, so it's keeping up. He might still have a chance, and very outside chance yet, of getting on the podium. Now, do the lights still work on the ARZ? Unsurprisingly, no they don't. But the lights aren't important. All the things that are important with the car actually still function, although the boot being up will cause a little bit of drag, but I don't think, around this track especially, that's going to be all too much of a problem. There's a little bit of debris there on the racing line, but the Pursue picks it up, but I don't think it's going to cause it any actual issues. Now then, on the run down into the hardest corner on the track for the AI. We've got the 200 BX now gaining speed, getting a lot of speed into the brakes zone. That has to brake earlier as well. having only 3 wheels attached to it. Now, can the ARZ get itself around the corner and take a bit of a wide line and then cuts into the curb, gets it all fine through there? I think that may be it secured now in second place, as the Miramar, it's not having a fun time. All the wheels still pointing in a straight line, so everything still works as it should be. Just the overheating of this car. This thing normally isn't this slow, because the overheating is going to be losing power, losing the will to live, quite honestly, and just losing everything else as well. Now, can the 200BX get itself over the curb? It's taking a better line over here this time, so that removing the front bumper was definitely the way to go with this car. Now it's going to go. So the curb going to go for the aggressive curb line. Yes, it is, and gets away with it. Now then, is the Grand Marshal going to get away with going over the curb as the Miramar's found its way off the road? And this time, yeah, it gets itself all good over the curbs. Still, the 5 second place though is still definitely on at the minute. As these 3 cars, they're in the wrong order, really. But through the corners, the Grand Marshal is actually a bit of an underdog through the corners, you know. So it means a slower car, I guess, would always do better through the corners. And I think it's given up the ghost now. The engine's off. The Bessemer, I'm pretty sure, is now out. So I think that is the I've blanked on the name of that car. The Miramar. There we go. There's not even a Bessemer in the race. I mean, this thing is technically a Bessemer, although it isn't. It's under a different name. In like BeamNG lore, it's a different car company completely. And this thing, well, the steering is on the correct side of the car. The Hirochi there, which kind of looks a bit like a gearbox for the logo. Now then, into the final corner, the car that needs to win once again. Looks like he's going to do it again. He's also eating its own front bumper, but that doesn't matter one bit. As now then, coming up now to the finish line, what's our speed going to do? It's usually 44 over the finish line. And actually got 50, got a nice burst of speed there at the end from the pursuit. Going to put that now onto stopping. Now then, let's get back on board with the battle here for second place. Now coming all the way into the final corners. As now we've got a bit of overheating there from the ARZ. Is that brakes or is that engine? I wouldn't know, because it's taken a lot of hits from both ends, so it's quite difficult to tell. I think it might have been brakes. He's not smoking from this angle. Yeah, so now then we've got the Grand Marshal looking to come into things now once again. It looks like he's having a little bit of a struggle there from the 200BX. And now these cars are separating now, but absolutely nothing. The Grand Marshal goes for a lunge. Goes for a little bit of a lunge in the final corner. As the Bessemer, the Miramar's got going again. Going back now, it's the Bessemer. And coming up to the line, it's going to be the ARZ, which holds on to second place. And let's put that now then onto stopping. Get on board now then with the third place car, the 200BX. And unpause that, and let's get that over the line, doing 52 mph. That's not much quicker than what the Pursuit was going. Now then, get on board then with the Grand Marshal, which now gets its way over the line. And I'm expecting one massive pile up here at the end. Going to get things preemptively slowed down. And then let's get back on board then with the ARZ. Is that going to have contact with anything? No, it's going to have contact from behind though. Now the big hit from behind, 2 big hits from behind. And this is pretty much just on how close these cars were all race long, really. I imagine even looking like this, they would all still drive, but the Grand Marshal, the big heavy car, which is surprisingly good through the corners, it seems, might be something to look out for in future rounds. It's going to be hard to push out of the way. So we saw it took a very opportunistic move from the Pursuit to get it out of the way, and the Pursuit once again is the car that needs to win in the next round. So if you enjoyed this episode of BeamNG Drive, this return to banger racing, then leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you need to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And you can be followed on Twitter and Instagram as well. They'll be linked down in the description. They're much appreciated. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you all next time when there'll be a new first place car in the next round. And hopefully these 4 cars can keep it as close as they did in this round.